So guys, how's everyone doing? I've just got home from doing a shift as a night shift carpenter. Um I'm absolutely knackered, man. I'm battered, mate. Um I've been doing I've been doing this now for how long now? About 2.5 months, 3 months now. I've done it before. I've worked in Harrods before. And really I just want to just talk about what it's like to be as a carpenter working in nights. So if any of you guys ever thought about doing it, or if you're thinking nights is too much, and you're thinking, you've been offered a job as a carpenter doing night shifts, and you're thinking, no, I can't be buggered with that because it's too difficult. My body's gonna get mashed up. I'm gonna tell you, don't get me wrong, it is hard on the body to a degree. But one thing the body's very good at doing is adjusting, is adapting. The human body adapts. So, you know, you can adapt your body. Like when I first started doing it, so I used to work in Harrods. When I first started working in Harrods for 4 years doing it, I was doing a carpenter in Harrods for 4 years, man. And it was difficult. But I got through it, and I was making good money. I was making decent money. Now I'm working in somewhere else in a theatre, Royal National Theatre. I'm making a lot better money. So this is probably what's keeping me going. Of course, is the money. Do you know what I mean? That's what's keeping me going. I mean, we all need to make money to live. We need to make money to survive, and that's the whole motivation behind it. I need to be able to feed my family. Life in London is it's expensive, man. It's difficult. Some people who are not from this country, they come over and they think, yeah, it's the best place to be. There's a lot of opportunities. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of opportunities here, but again, the cost of living is very, very high, man. And as you know, it's difficult. I can't even think about buying a house. It's just too much right now. Maybe later on, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy this house, which is me and my wife's. This place is a council place, so we'll buy this because we've been there for a long time. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about really what it's like as a night shift carpenter in London, or carpenter in London, you could say. And it's all right, to be fair. I personally like it because, you know, people are sleeping. It's not so busy when I'm heading out. It's a quiet journey on the bus. It's quiet. Um, the only thing is certain times on a Friday and a Saturday, you see people going out for drinks, going out down the bar. They're gonna go and get mashed out of their face. They're gonna go and get pissed out of their head. So that's the only thing. Sometimes you look at them and you think, oh man, what am I doing going to work? Look at me, stupid going to work. And there's these people going out to go and enjoy their lives. And there's me, muggins, going working and not really going out. But to be honest, I'm in my 40s, so I'm done going out. I'm done with all that partying stuff. I'm done with all that drinking. Don't get me wrong, I'll have a drink at home with my missus, my wife. I'll still have a drink. But I'm done with all that going out and spunking my money and all that. But I've finished with all that. So now it's more just, what I mean, working and focusing on, bettering yourself. Um, and really just, yeah, just living life, man, and trying to progress forward. I'm done with all that going out now. I've done all that when I was younger, in my younger days. Done all that getting drunk, getting pissed, getting on it. That's all out the window now. So yeah, it's all about, life changes, man. Things change. I mean, your perspective changes as you get older, and things, you start seeing things differently. Don't get me wrong, there's still people out there who still going out there and drinking and getting smashed out their head in my age, who's still doing the same things they were doing when they was in their teens and in their 30s, and still doing all that stuff. I'm not judging them, but I'm just saying, me personally, I'm just not. I'm through with that. I've actually through with that. I'm done with all that stuff. I finished with that stuff like a little while ago, a long time ago. Um, but yeah, so life as a carpenter. I don't drive. Yeah, so a lot of people ask me, like, as a carpenter, why don't you drive? Why aren't you driving? You know, why aren't you driving and stuff like that? You're a carpenter. Why aren't you driving? Well, you really want to drive in London, fucking, excuse my French, but you got all these things, congestion charge, you got Ulysses, you got all these things, and as soon as you get paid, all your money's gonna go to your insurance, your road tax, all these things you're gonna have to pay. Now, don't get me wrong, in my profession, having a van it's a good thing. It's all the guys, people use a van to get their tools around, they got private jobs. But how I deal with it, how I get around, I do private jobs, but how I do it is I take taxi, I take a cab. So instead of me having to pay for insurance every month, pay for petrol, pay for parking, pay for MOT, road tax, all these Ulysses and all these congestion charge, I just pay for a single journey in the taxi to the job, and I get it to the job, and once I do that job, I'll bring my tools to that job and I'll leave my tools there and I'll do the job. And then when I'm finished doing the job, it could be a day or 2, 3 days depending, then I take my tools and come home. Now I've saved myself a lot of money. This is how I do it. And this is how I've been doing it for the last 5 or 6 years, So it works for me, man. I'm not going to get a van and a car because of, society says, or people say you should get one because, you can put you're good for private jobs. There's ways around things, man. There's ways to do things in life. You just think how to use your head a bit, and you can avoid paying unnecessary costs, really. That's just basically why I don't drive. If I did, I will eventually get a car, but it won't be because of that. That is the reason why I was in a rush to get it in the first place, because of how I've been able to deal with, with myself without going to get in a van or getting a taxi or getting a car. Without driving a car, MOT and all these things like that. So yeah, this is how I've been doing it. I'm not saying to anybody that you shouldn't drive, because it's up to you. If you want to drive and you depending on what you do, if you want to drive and you find it better for you, yeah, of course, drive. But for me personally, I wasn't in a rush to get a car. I wasn't in a rush to drive and things like that, because I was working fine without it. I was getting by without it. I was doing my private jobs. I was making good money. I was able to do the jobs that I needed to do. If I really want to expand later, in life, or I really expand myself, then maybe getting a van might be, but to be honest, I just can't afford it, right? To get in a van, it's just too much money in London, especially London, man. It's ridiculous, man. For all you guys out there who's builders, or anyone who's out there, it's not easy to drive around London. London is just a melting pot, really. It's just like for just sucking money from you every angle. You got to pay for something. With your rent, okay, fair enough, that's standard, but you got your council tax, you got TV license, you got utility bills, you got, it's just on and on, man. The list just goes on. Your mobile bills, it's just constant bills and tax. This is how London is. And this is why I don't want to drive. I just take London Transport, and I save myself a lot of money, a lot of money. But yeah, I just want to talk about what it's like really to as a carpenter in London. Um, and yeah, it's good. It's got its benefits. You know, I like it. Um, and I want to just share this. I wanted to make a little video just talk about it. So any other people who's doing carpentry who might think, oh, you need to get a van, or you know what it's like, you know, being a carpenter, or what's it like being doing night shift carpentry. Do I need to get a van? You know, you need to, if you want to start carpentry, do I have to drive? No, you don't have to drive. You don't friggin' need to drive at all, mate. Yeah, you do. I mean, you don't need to drive. You just need to get yourself a taxi. When you got a job to go to, yeah, make sure you got the job you go to. Of course, you don't want to be jumping from job to job to job, because obviously you're getting taxi all the time. No, I don't do that. You get your taxi to certain jobs that's going to last for maybe, you know, let's say more than a month, or at least a couple of weeks. At least you've earned, while you're there, you've earned the first, second, third week, you've earned 3 weeks money. Then you take your tools and go to the next job, and so forth. And that's how I did it, man. That's how I did it for years. That's how I still do it now. Obviously now I'm settled in with a company, so you know I don't need to jump around anymore. But in the beginning, when I done my apprenticeship and I was starting out, I'll always move from job to job. You know, I was an agency, and I work for the agency, and then they'll finish the contract or something, and I'll move to the other job, and that's how I'll do it. I'll just take my taxi, and sometimes I didn't need to take taxi. I'll take my tools, wheel it on the bus, you know, just a small hand tools. But obviously, as the years have gone on, my tool collection has grown considerably, and I've got so much more tools, so much more gear. So, you know, this is how I do it. This is how I get around it. So, for all you other guys out there, this is just wanted to share this with you, man. So don't be put off by not having a van or not having a license. If you want to become a carpenter, go and do it, mate. Go and do it. You know, go and do it. Get your certificate. Get your get your license. You know, your CSCS card. Get your MVQ or Seating Guilds, whatever, whichever one you want to do, and go out there and do it, and start going under some money. And don't let that put you off because you don't have a license, basically. You know. Yeah, there's ways around things. It's ways around things, man. You know, I make good money, to be fair. I can't complain. As a carpenter, I make about 1, 2, 1, 3 a week. That's after tax. That's probably because, you know, because I'm doing night shift carpentry as well, so that's why my wage is a lot more. So it's quite good money. I can't complain really, but yeah, I wanted to share with you guys, man. Sky's the limit. Look, I'm not even driving. I'm earning money like this, so you know you can do it too. You can do it too. You don't need a license. I have drifted off a bit the conversation, because I know I was talking about night shift carpentry, and now I'm talking about driving, but it all comes under the same boat. Do you know what I mean? It's all to do with carpentry in London, what it's like being a carpenter in London and doing night shift carpentry, basically. And yeah, it's just good. It's now, I think it's like, what time is it now? It's like early in the morning now. So I think it's I don't know, I finished, I think it's about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning now. No, half 9, 10, sorry. And I finished at 8 o'clock this morning. So I start at 12 at night and I finish at 8 in the morning. So my missus is fast. She's fast asleep. My wife's fast asleep. She's just like completely knocked out. So I'm in the other room. I don't want to disturb her, and I don't want her to disturb me when she wakes up. So I always sleep in the spare room. And my daughter's not here. She's away. She's on holiday. She has been for quite a while. Well, she's with her family on the other side in Philippines. So yeah, my wife's from the Philippines. So she's with the other side of the family. So this room, I'm just staying here now. when I'm doing my night shift. That's the only thing I could say. This is the thing I could say. There is some obviously downsides to doing night shift doing night shift work, especially carpentry work. Um, you you and your partner, you sort of have a different, almost like a different life. You know, you just pass each other. You obviously I see my wife and that when I wake up and I see her, but you know, I don't get to spend the time. It's slightly different that I would usually spend with her if I was doing day shift. So of course, when I'm sleeping, she's awake, and let's say I'm gonna sleep for about 7 hours now, so I'll be up 6 hours. So I'll be up by let's say 10 o'clock. I'm normally up by 4 or 5, and then I'll spend some time with her. But also, I'm at university on Mondays and Tuesdays and Saturdays, so I study business and management in the evening time. So I do an evening class on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Saturdays up till 12 o'clock. So that is how my schedule is. So sometimes, yeah, we don't spend a lot of time together. That's the only downside I could say really with night shift work. But of course, the money's good. Like the money's there, guys. You know, that's in life. You got to sacrifice. Sometimes you got to sacrifice. You know, some things you have to sacrifice. So in my case, I'm sacrificing that, but my partner understands that and she's okay with it. You know, at times. And when she does say we need to spend some time together, I spend time with her. You know, we have our times. We have the weekend, and then when I'm not at college, I use that time to spend with her. So yeah, guys, you definitely need someone who's understanding when you're doing night shift. You need someone who's understanding, who is going to understand that you're trying to make money. You're trying to bring money home to the family. You're trying to better yourself. And that's just how it is. That's what's needed to be done for you to make your money. You need to go and earn your money, man. That's it. You need to go and earn your money. You know, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay at home, and you can do day shift work, and you'd be on the same money, or you can do night shift work and be on a lot more money. So it all depends. But it depends what suits you at the end of the day. I'm not saying, don't do day shift work, just don't do night shift work. No, not at all. Because if I could, if I was earning the same money I'm earning doing night shift during the day, I'll do day shift work. It's a no-brainer, of course. And, I can just have my usual routine as it should be. But instead, I'm doing a night shift because, the money's better, and this is it. Money's better, and I do have a bit of flexibility of time as well. So I'll give you an example. For instance, if you want to do something during the day, like, okay, most of the stuff is going to be closed by the time you start sleeping, and you wake up, everything will start closing. It's still going to be open by about 4 or 5, but if you decide to go out, things are slowing down. So, but for instance, I'll give you an example. I study day trading as well. So there's a few things that I do. So I study day trading as well, and I got into it, I think about maybe 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and I fell off it. Paid for 2 courses, and I fell off it, and I didn't bother continuing doing it. But doing night shift, I'm able to catch the market. So if I come in the market, if I was doing day work, I'll be working day shifts. So I don't have time to catch the markets, to trade in the markets. But where's this night shift, and I come home and I have a few hours sleep, I'm up, I can just have a quick look in the markets, study the markets for a little while, and then go back to sleep. It works out really well for me, which is what I've been doing as well. So, guys, yeah, it all depends on you, man. It all depends on you as a person and how you want to live your life. At the end of the day, me personally, like all of us, I want to make money, man. I want to make money and provide for my family. I do believe that you should be balanced, though. And yeah, I do want to spend time with my wife and you know, things like that. So it's important to me. But at the same time, you have to be able to grow. You have to be able to make time for yourself to grow as a person, mentally, spiritually, financially. These three things are very important. Mentally, you have to grow, have time for yourself to be able to, you know, not like you're away from your partner, but you have to have that time where you can, you know, read and look into things that you're interested in, you might want to develop in your mind. Spiritually, give you a chance to get close to God at times, you know, when you might want to look into the Bible, read the Bible a bit, say a bit of prayer and stuff like that, do a bit of meditation, and you want to just build on yourself really. Knowledge, chance to read, catch up on things, you know. No one's saying to be a bookworm, but just improving yourself really. And for me, that's important, um, because as a man, if I'm not doing any of those things, I just feel like I'm not really living, I'm not really existing. If I'm not trying to better myself, I don't feel like I'm even existing, or, you know, I'm even living. So I know a lot of you can relate to that. I know, because most people, this is how they feel, you know? So guys, if you're thinking about doing carpentry, you're a young person, or even older, even you're my age, or, you know, you're thinking about getting into it, do it. Do it. You don't have to have a license. You don't need a van. I've been doing it since I'm 23. And you see all this woodwork behind me. It's funny, isn't it? Because this is what I've built in my daughter's room. This is one of the cabinets I've built. But yeah, this is just some of the stuff that I've done to this house. But if you're thinking about getting into it, and you don't have a driver's license, or you're thinking about, oh, I need a van, or I need this and that, you don't need a van. You don't need to drive. It helps, of course. I'm not saying don't get a van, but you don't need it. You can still, you can still get contracts. You can still get work. You can still do private jobs. All you need to do is just you use, you know, just think a bit. Think about how you can work around without having a car. Like, you know, take taxi to the job, take a cab to the job, leave your tools there, and then you just work on that contract until that's finished, and then you take your tools home when it's done, and you put your tools home. That's it. You know, there's just different ways that you can do things, to get around it when you don't have a license, or you're not driving as a carpenter in London. You know, again, that might not work for everyone. It's just totally down to you. But yeah, I wanted to share this. Just wanted to share this with you guys. So just to talk about what it's, you know, carpentry work, and how you can trying to help someone who might want to do it, and they're worried about they don't have a license, or they're worried about this and that. You know, don't be. There's no need to. There's so many ways that you can get by in life. You know, and you don't need it. You know, you don't necessarily need. It's not a need to have it. You know, a van and stuff as a carpenter. It's not a need. It's good to have. Yes, it's very helpful to have, and it's handy, but it's not needed. Like I said, I've done a lot of private jobs in my time. And how do I do it? How do I do it? I take the taxi. So let's say I got to refurbish a house. I got to put some kitchens in and stuff like that. I take all my tools. So sometimes I'll take a set on the first day, and the next day I take the other half of my tools, so that they're completed there. So all my tools is there, and then I start work. And then most of the time, sometimes the job goes on to 3 or 4 weeks. My tools is there. I'm getting paid, of course, in the first week. Normally, when you start a private job, it depends. You take half of the deposit or something like that. So you've got money to get back home with your tools if you need it. So you can make it work. You know, there's ways to make it work, you know. But guys, that's all I'm gonna just wanted to just talk about that really. I'm not gonna go into much. I mean, just want to talk about that with you guys. I hope you found this video helpful. Anyone who's aspiring to be a carpenter and they're worried about they ain't got a license, or you know, they need a van, and also working as a night shift carpenter in London, do it. If you feel you can do it, go for it. You're not going to completely damage your body. It's just, you know, it's just adjusting, that's all, and you'll be fine, man. The body, the greatest, one of the greatest one of the greatest tools the body has is to adapt. We're the greatest human beings. The greatest thing that we have is adaptation, is to be able to adapt. So your body will adapt and it will adjust, and you can do it. You know, it'll be fine. You're not gonna, you know, get stressed or start losing your hair. Look at my, you know, it's not. I'm fine, mate. I've done night shift before for 4 years, you know, and it's not done anything. So you're not going to do it forever as well, are you? The night shift is just for a period of time. No one's saying to do it forever. I ain't going to do it forever, that's for sure. It's just for a period of time. So you should get some good, make some money, get some good money behind you. And yeah, go from there. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to leave you to it now. If you guys want to leave a message or whatever, if you want to ask me a question about anything about my work, anything that I've spoken about with carpentry or night shift, or just anything in general, really, do you just want to just drop a comment, please do so in the comment box and I'll get back to you. All right. Peace and love, guys. I'm going to get some sleep. One love. Stay safe. God bless.